Hey everybody, Dave here, Hidden Freedom Investing, and welcome back to another dividend update video. Basically today is September 30th, so all of my dividends have been received for September, and I've made a lot of changes in September, and a lot of that I went over in a video, and I'll link the video a little bit later in this video if you want to look at my complete strategy. So I've been executing a lot of that strategy. There's still some work to do, and maybe in October there'll be a lot more of that work completed. But in this video, we're going to look at all the dividends received for the month of September. We're also going to look at the options income that I received for September. In addition, we're gonna look at all the buys and the sells and all that stuff as well. So let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, we have the agenda up for today, and if you've seen my videos before, pretty much, or at least the dividend update videos. So this is the this is the agenda for today. I've made this font a little bit bigger just to make it a little bit easier to see. We just saw Dividend Mountain there, and there's quite a bit of progress there for Dividend Mountain just because of the windfall that I got, which we'll go over that here in a second. So it's good to see that hiker move on, and from that, basically halfway up. So that's kind of good. So, all right, let's go ahead and look at the overview for the dividend portfolio. And so here is the dividend portfolio. So I pretty much have kind of renamed it Fire Investment Portfolio Overview. And I may even change this spreadsheet a little bit here to reflect a fire investment portfolio, because not everything is going to be a dividend producing asset or something like that. So right now, we'll leave it as fire investment portfolio. So we have two accounts here. We got a taxable and a tax deferred there, and the total amount in the taxable is $618,000. And then we got the tax deferred there as $66,000. And so right now the annual dividend income is $33,765. Monthly dividend income is $28.14, and the daily income is $93, and the hourly income at a 24-hour day is $3.85. Today was a pretty rough day, although that is a little misleading because I had sold out of a lot of stuff today. And so that's not really, it's looking at the whole amount that, the stuff I invested in and all that. So that's a little misleading for today, although it was still a rough week. I've probably shed over $25,000 in the last few weeks or so, but that's part of the game, right? Still unrealized gain is $21,000. Most of that's in VYM. Well, most of it was in VYM. Most of that I think is just individual stocks at this point. Unrealized gain percentage about 3.69%. And then we got some metrics over here to the side. Still 30 positions. There will be a little bit of change to that once VYM is completely gone, which I went over in that video, which I'll link up here if you want to take a look at the ultimate investment strategy video that I did. It talks about my complete strategy. And I went over in this particular spreadsheet right here, talking about that strategy. So I'm executing that strategy right now. I did make a couple of changes, little minor changes to that strategy. I took O out of the tax deferred account and stuck it in the taxable account. And part of the reason why I did that is just because I want to get the QQQ up to at least 2,000, I wish it was 2,000, 200 shares. That way I can start selling 2 covered calls against it instead of just 1. So I just took O out of there. It was not that big of a deal. It's not that much capital that would be unqualified dividends on the taxable side, so I'm not too worried about it. So if you want to know more about this strategy here, go ahead and take a look at that video. All right, bring this back here. Here's all the 30 positions here. Like I said, I will be getting out of VYM. More long-term capital gains I'll get out of next week. And then the following week, I should be completely out of VYM completely. And most of that will be going into Devo. All right, brings us down here, the current portfolio. These are all the positions in the portfolio at this time. And if you want to pause the video, you can. SCHD is just a placeholder right now. There's 1 share in there. Ultra had a rough day today. What a trash stock that is. Hint, hint. I'm just not a huge fan of it, but you know, it's still in the portfolio, and you know, I'll just probably keep it there too. It's not a lot of capital in there, $2,000. So if we scroll down here, you know, you can see me obviously getting out of VYM, so there's still $22,000 left in there. Like I said, by the time Monday rolls around, there'll be a lot more capital gains, long-term capital gains I can render out of there. And then the next, you know, week or two after that, the remaining amount will be long-term capital gains, and I'll get out of it. And the rest of that will all go into mostly like Devo, most likely. And going back here, obviously you can tell that there's still a bunch of cash waiting around to be invested. So in the taxable account, there's $82,624. And then for the tax deferred, there's $75.93 available for investment there. So if we scroll over to the other portfolio, the tax deferred account, we can see there's just QQQ in there. So like I said, trying to get that up to over 200 shares so I can start selling covered calls against 2 contracts instead of just 1. Okay, let's go back to the agenda here. And right now we looked at Dividend Mountain. We kind of looked at the overview. All day spreadsheets are available, so if you're interested in these spreadsheets, see the linked comment or the first pinned comment or the description. Roughly still $452,000 left in real estate notes. I've gone over that every single update video, but for anybody new here, see the promissory note video that I did if you're curious about what those are. It still generates roughly about $22,000 of income, of interest income every single month for me. That brings us down here to 2C, windfall from flips, $180,000 win in the dividend portfolio. So if we go back here to the dividend portfolio, that's where all that cash came from there. Obviously, I've already invested over $100,000 executing my plan, and I've kind of left this here because I think the market could go down another 5% or so. So I've just been kind of going in a little bit slower than I probably normally would. You know, I had about 10, 20 years left, I just lump sum invested, but because I'm looking to fire relatively soon, I just wanted to kind of get in slowly. Plus, I kind of think that the market could go down another 5% or so. So I'm just, you know, easing my way in. Go back to the agenda here. So yeah, windfall from the flips, $180,000. That all went into the dividend portfolio. I already invested about $100,000 of that, and there's still roughly about $80,000 left to invest, plus the VYM that's will be coming out and going into Devo. 2D brings down here. Please support my second channel, Hidden Off Grid. Please see the pinned comment or description. And I do some finance stuff over there too. It's just a little bit different. It's not really stuff I want to share on this channel here. You know, a little bit more emotional investing type stuff over there, but you know, I'd appreciate it if you support me over there as well. Let's go and look at the dividend increases for the month of September. We had a few, I think. I looked earlier and scroll over here to let's see, about right here or so. I'm gonna scroll up, and it looks like we had 2 dividend increases for the month of September. We have a JP Morgan here that got increased from $3.60 up to $4, and that was 11% increase. And that is way above where at least the 1-year dividend CAGR was. 5-year dividend CAGR is a little bit less than what we think, but you know, we did have a pandemic last year, so it is what it is. We'll take what we can get. It's still 11%. I'm pretty happy with that. So it brings down here to, actually I need to clear that. So 4.00, we'll clear that flag. And then let's go to Microsoft here. So Microsoft had a 10.71% dividend increase, and that brings, let me see, $2.24 up to $2.48. So that 10.7% is pretty much right in line. So that's pretty good. They're, you know, pretty old faithful here, 19 years consecutive dividend increases. So they're heading their way over to a dividend aristocrat. So let's go ahead and clear that flag too. So we got 2.48 here, 2.48, and we'll clear that flag. If you're enjoying my content, please go and like and subscribe and set that bell notification. Looking back here at the agenda, so we have dividend increases we just took care of. Let's go look at the sells for the month of September. All right, here is the sells for the month of September. And like I said, I've been doing a lot of work on this portfolio, trying to execute my plan. And a lot of it's just churn. So these are the sells here. Almost everything in here just came out of the tax deferred account, so it's not really, I did maybe take a little bit of stuff, rendered some stuff out of the taxable account, like VYM for example. I rendered quite a bit of capital out of that already, so $25,952 or $51. So I rendered over $98,000 in profits. There could have been a little bit of losses in there, but this is just the capital that I rendered and put it back to work. So we'll look at the buys here next. So here are all the buys for the month of September. And obviously, you know, the $98,000 that came out of the portfolio went back in. So this $193,000 is not all fresh capital, but about 100,000 of it is. So I bought some Qs, I bought some Devo, bought some QYLD, JEPI, XYLD. O just came out of one portfolio and went into the other. So that's kind of just a churn. ExxonMobil, JP Morgan, VYM, which I think was a dividend, and that was a dividend received which did not get reinvested. Let's see, we got SCHD and we got DGRO, which I've sold and replaced it with SCHD. And that brings us to the dividends received for the month of September. Now we received 17 total dividends for the month of September here, $2,659.87. So we received a dividend on SO, JEPI, Johnson & Johnson, Microsoft, CVX, ExxonMobil, 3M, on Realty Income, McDonald's, Home Depot, Duke, VYM, Nusi, QYLD, XYLD, Pepsi, and Devo. And I just received Pepsi and Devo today. A lot of these are monthly pairs. So O is a monthly pair, JEPI is a monthly pair. We got Nusi is a monthly pair. Let's see here. QYLD is a monthly pair, XYLD is a monthly pair, and Devo is a monthly pair as well. So pretty big month. I'm not sure if this is my biggest month yet, but when we put these in the dividend portfolio, we'll check to see if it was the biggest month. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to write all those dividends received across the dividend portfolio or for dividends received. So we'll write them across September there, and then see if it was the biggest month. So let's go to the dividend charts. And then there's the dividend-o-meter there. We will go bring up the script that we're gonna run a script to basically write all of those dividends to the Google Sheets just to make my life a little bit easier. So it's gonna run the script now. Okay, the dividend script updated the dividends across the Google Sheets, and you saw the dividend-o-meter go up there, so it looks like it updated. We're up to $16,146 for 2021 so far. Let's go back to, let's see here, dividends received, and it looks like it wrote them all across that line right there. Just go and scroll to the right, 2659. So that does look like it was the biggest month I've ever received so far. So it looks pretty good. It's looks like it's about a little shy than $100 larger than the next smallest month. So all right, biggest month. So that might be the biggest quarter as well. So we'll look at that here in a second as well. So that will be the last dividend I received for VYM. So I will move that over to the right hand side over here where all these red ones are. The red ones are all the ones that I do not own anymore. So I'll put VYM over there and I'll replace VYM with, let's see, SCHD. And then I'll also add a spot for SPY eventually as well. According to my plan, I will be buying SPY eventually as well, about $380,000 worth when I execute my plan early next year. All right, let's look at the dividend charts here. So we look at the charts there. Obviously, scrolling down here, we see the dividends by month. We had 2659. Like I said, it didn't dwarf them, but it still had more dividend come than June and March. We also have the quarter in, which we'll scroll down here in a second. And obviously that dwarfed last year's September of last year, because last year it was a full year of dividends. It just, I had just started the portfolio last year, so it wasn't obviously as much. So let's scroll on down here. We got dividends by quarter. So we obviously have Q3 in the books now, $6,532. And that is a pretty significant increase from Q2 by over $1,000. Pretty happy with that. So obviously dwarfed last year's Q3 by considerably, by what, over $4,000. So, all right, let's see here. Dividends by year, 16,146, and we're still projected to get another $6,000 maybe for the rest of the year. Is what, probably even more than that now that I think about it, because we have that fresh $100,000 we just put in the portfolio, $180,000 we just put in the portfolio as well. So we actually might get maybe $25,000, $26,000 by the end of the year. And before I forget, let's go to the allocation here just to look at the allocation. And let's see, no, I probably need to update this here, SP 500. Here is the portfolio allocation at this time. Consumer staples, 24.6%, utilities, 4%, financials, 8.7%, healthcare, 11.5%, materials, 2.6%, real estate, 2.8%. You got energy 4.5, industrial 7.9, consumer discretionary 13.4, communication services 2.1, and we got information technology there at 17.9. Obviously, consumer staples is always high because there's some solid stocks in there, kings and aristocrats. All right, that brings us through the dividend increases, sells, buys, adds. We looked at the stock allocation, we looked at the dividends received, we ran the script, and we also looked at the dividend metrics. Let's go and take a look at the options to come. Not everybody's interested in this, so I'm gonna kind of just go over it real quick. And let's see here, let's go over to options report. All right, here's the options report for September. So got basically September 1st through September 30th today. I've rendered over $2,696 in profits for September, and mostly cash secured puts, strangles, and maybe a little bit of, let me see, I probably had some risk, I had some other stuff in there as well, but mostly just strangles, mostly cash secured puts. So we're up to what, $39,675 for the year, and believe it or not, it's actually over $40,000. It's just this one account, it's $39,675, even though I have some other options in some other accounts. And I also rendered, let's see, $165 in covered calls against the Qs, and that's just one contract against the Qs. In the cash secure, let me see, in the cash, which account was that? That's the tax deferred account. So if we scroll over to the right here, we can see that we have just 165 shares. So I'm not quite up to 200 shares yet. So I've been selling about a 15 delta against those 100 shares. And I've already rendered $165. I've only been doing it for about 2.5 weeks or so. I sold it and the market went down. I just bought it back, sold another one with a move to strike down. And I don't care if I get called away because I can just buy it right back and just actually sell a put to get into it. So I can't wait to get up to 200 shares and eventually up to 400 shares in there where I can start selling 4 contracts against those shares. So that's going to be another strategy going forward, and I've talked about it in that other video. If you're interested, take a look at that video that I linked in the earlier in this video. All right, brings us down here to the Schwab positions. Let's just go ahead and look at the Schwab count real quick, and then we'll look at the projections for October as well. Okay, we're logged into Schwab now, and we're going to just scroll down and show you all my positions. So let's see down here. Here are all the positions. This is representative of 2 accounts, although technically there's only 1 account for almost every one of these positions now, with the exception of nothing, actually, now that I think about it. So this is just representative 1 account at the top here, because these are all the individual positions. And then that brings us down here to the ETFs, which are all right here. And so VYM I'm actually getting out of, so I will get out of the rest of that in the next few weeks. And then QQQ down there is just in 1 account. And all these ones at the top right here, or so VYM down to QLD, are just in the taxable account. So there's all the positions there. It should match up pretty close to what I have in the Google Sheets as well, if you want to bounce it off of that. Okay, we're looking at the income. Let's go to 2021 here. So here is the income right here. Here is September here. So we had, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's off just a little bit. We did receive some dividends today from Devo and Pepsi, and that's not counted in there. But that will update tonight, and because I wanted to make the video today, because it's going to take a few days or a day or so to get this thing done and rendered and all that for Saturday's upload. So let's go ahead and look at the next 12 months here. So here's the next 12 months, and here is, well, let's see, where is October? Oh, we already finished the year, so, excuse me, already finished that. We're already in October technically. So 2772 is what they're projecting for me, which will be the biggest month I've ever had. So that'll be interesting. I just added a lot of fresh capital in the last few weeks or so. That might actually go up. And I'll still continue to add more capital as well the next few weeks. So that most likely will go up above $3,000. So if we go to the next 12 months here, they have my average at 2864, which is a little bit higher than what the dividend portfolio I think shows on my side. So at 2814, so it is off just a little bit. And that's just because the yields that I have in my Google Sheets versus what Schwab has is just off a little bit, but they have me at $34,371. So that's pretty good. And like I said, we'll continue to add more capital to it over the next few weeks. So we'll hopefully get that up to roughly about $44,000 or so. Maybe a little bit less than that is my guess. I'm not sure what the projection is. Another 80 plus 20. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe over $40,000. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this dividend portfolio update. Like I said, take a look at that last video I did. It talks about the complete strategy here that I've been executing. So it's pretty involved. I had a couple people say, or one person say anyway, that it's pretty complicated, but to me it's not. I'm using covered calls to generate extra income off the SPY and the QQQs. So if you're familiar with covered calls, it's a great way to generate some capital. I might even go more aggressive on the strikes as well to generate, instead of a 15 delta, I might go with a 0.2 or maybe in 0.25 or something like that, because who cares whether or not it gets called away? As long as it doesn't blow too far past my strike, then it's a win-win in my opinion. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment down below if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Anyways, until next time, go ahead and like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.